Hi, I'm Pam Burt. I own the Twisted Center Cake Shop in Perryville, Kentucky, and today we're going to be making marshmallow fondant. The utensils that you'll need is, the first one is a pastry scraper. You'll need your 1 tablespoon measuring spoon, some water, your sifter, a half a cup of Crisco, 2 pounds of powdered sugar, 16 ounces of marshmallow, and if you have a KitchenAid mixer, you'll need your dough hook. And your rubber spatula. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add 3 tablespoons of water. Then you're going to take your marshmallows and put them in the microwave for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your Crisco, your half a cup of Crisco, and you're going to put it in your mixing bowl. Then you're going to add your 2 pounds of sifted powdered sugar. Once the marshmallows come out of the microwave, you're going to stir them a little bit, which I'll show you, and then you're going to put those on top of your Crisco and your sifted powdered sugar. Okay, when you take your marshmallows out, they're not going to look like they're melted, but they actually are. They'll be very soft. So what you want to do is take your rubber spatula, just kind of stir them up a little bit. That helps to soften the ones that maybe aren't quite as soft as the rest, and it helps mix the water in. Take your softened marshmallows and add them to your bowl. Place your dough hook on your KitchenAid. And what I try to do is actually hold up the mixer a little bit so that the marshmallows and the powdered sugar start to mix together, otherwise the marshmallow comes up over the top of the dough hook. As it's mixing, you want to kind of just knock the powdered sugar down. It gets a little messy. Making fondant is not a nice, neat process, but it tastes a lot better than the commercial stuff, which sometimes seems to have a little bit of a bitter flavor to it, and it's a little chewier. The other thing about making this particular fondant is that you can at any time flavor it, just substitute the flavoring for the water. The other thing is if you want all of your fondant to be one color, you would put your color in now and mix it up. Once most of your ingredients are incorporated, what you're going to do is get most of it off the dough hook here, and then you're going to turn it out onto a powdered countertop. So you want a little bit extra powdered sugar to be able to knead your fondant. Yeah. So here you're going to sift your powdered sugar onto your countertop. You want it pretty thick. Now your dough is going to be very sticky. Anything extra in the bowl you want to bring out because it has Crisco and powdered sugar mixed in it, and you want all of that into your marshmallows. And then what you're going to start doing is actually kneading it as if it's bread dough. And as you knead it, you'll notice that the consistency will start to change and it won't be quite as sticky. And it may stick to your countertop. That's why you're going to have your pastry scraper here, so you can scrape and put your dough back in and continue to knead. Bread dough, you can have a tendency to overwork. Fondant, not so much. You're going to need to work it for a while to make sure that you get all the lumps out of it. It works the air pockets out of it, and you're just trying to get it to the correct consistency, which is a soft, non-sticky ball. Time-wise, as far as kneading it, really depends on the consistency of your fondant. Take into account if it's a really humid day, you may need to add a little bit extra powdered sugar because of the humidity in the air. If it's a drier day, you may need a little bit less. If your fondant is very sticky, add additional powdered sugar, a little bit at a time, so that you don't overdo it and make it too dry. If your fondant is too dry, add small amounts of Crisco at a time. If that doesn't work, small amounts of water. When adding the small amounts of either Crisco or water, maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon at a time. You don't want to go too much with that because it doesn't take very much to change the consistency of the fondant. Okay, my dough is pretty close to being finished. Still a little bit sticky, so I added a little bit of powdered sugar to it. And I'm just going to knead a little bit more. Keep in mind that your fondant is warm, which is going to make it softer to the touch than when it cools, so you don't want to make it too dry. Otherwise, when you actually go to work with it after it cools off, it'll be too stiff. So if you'll notice, it has a pretty smooth consistency and it's still a tiny bit sticky, but that's okay because I want to give it some time to rest and to cool off. So once you get to that point, you're done. You can either add color to it, divide it up if you're going to do a couple of different colors, and all you do is add the color and knead it to the saturation that you like. When you're done with this, you're going to double wrap it with cling wrap or saran wrap or something along those lines. Make sure you wrap it so that it's airtight. You don't want any air to get to your fondant. Otherwise, what happens is it starts to dry out and get crusty. If possible, it's a good idea to make your fondant the night before you'll use it, because if you have any residual powdered sugar in there, it'll have time to dissolve so that when you go to knead it the next day, all the little clumps will break up. For storage, go ahead and you can leave it sitting out for up to a couple of weeks so that it's still usable and good. If you're gonna do anything longer than that, put it in the refrigerator. Once you need to use it, go ahead and put it in the microwave just for a few seconds at a time until it's soft enough for you to re-knead and roll out. There's your marshmallow fondant. Please be sure to check out the Twisted Sifter Cake Shop on the web. You can visit us at www.thetwistedsifter.com or check out my blog at www.thetwistedsifter.wordpress.com. Thank you.